Keep quiet.
Take him down. Here we go. Good run. I was just getting warmed up.
I've seen metal like that, usually behind a very high price tag at a blacksmith's.
Let's go. Show me what you got.
On sick.
Next one's mine. We got them all.
The local militias lax at the best of times, which these are not.
One for you.
On.
Come and get me. Don't die. Still recovering. Nice. Little help. That's more like it.
He sucks so.
Rastal's Folly. A reminder that nothing good comes from messing with powers you don't understand. Whatever's grown over that Audra doesn't look natural.
Something happened here. Birth. Voices. arms building a wall. The ruins sleep in the field now, the only proof they lived. How do we leave our mark upon the river of memory? Planting seeds. The body dies, but ideals persist. Your clarity of vision soothes us.
Just like the Stranglehold. Envoy, you gotta tell me you've seen it.
The Envoy blacked out. Now the Audra has flowers on it. Does that about sum it up? Oh no, don't! Hey! Over here! Nice! Just like the good old days.
Can't believe we're stationed out here, so far from the city. Piss off the captain or something?
Oh, hush. You're acting like we got some
Would it kill the claviger to send us some better food?
You really couldn't have ordered that any worse, you ass.
Huh? What are you talking about?
What do you... Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Envoy. Ironic. No. Paradis clearly understands your intent.
Careful, he could be a messenger. Or this could get interesting.
Eagwolf was one of many. Not all of us surrendered with him. My compatriots have observed your judgment. We have a message for you. We do not give second warnings. Consider this one carefully.
Hold a moment. They tell me you're going to Emerald Stair. Business or pleasure? Well, just remember to cover your mouth, sneeze into your elbow, and sleep with lavender under your pillow. Fair warning, Envoy. Before you showed up, Inquisitor Ludwig barged past me. She was looking none too pleased. That'd be my guess as well, though it could be anything. She seemed to have a lot on her mind. Anyway, I thought you should know Ludwig's on the prowl. Tread lightly.
As long as she's not on our scent. Hopefully, your handling of Egwolf brought us some grace with her.
You're cleared to pass, Envoy.
Can't say I'm sad to be leaving Paradise. I had no idea how tense things were with the Adirans moving in.
And Egwolf's death won't help matters.
Survival dictates you remove a threat as soon as it makes itself known. That's exactly what you did.
Regardless, the Steel Garrote will see this as an excuse to crack down. I get the feeling they've been looking for one.
Steel Garrote? I figured they're just more intense Adiran soldiers.
They'll have their work cut out for them here. About half the people who come to the Living Lands are fugitives or exiles from something.
I don't like that Ludwig woman. She gives me the vrikas.
Yeah, I've seen floggings gentler than the scolding she gave Hilgard. One's tacking when the other's jibing, if you catch my drift. Taking in the slack is one thing. They look ready to strangle each other with it.
Then it's a good thing we're getting out of the city.
Yeah. Much as Liviana misses our company, I wouldn't count on your mysterious friend reviving you a second time.
Are you listening to that friend when you go all blank-eyed from time to time? Does your special friend talk to you? I mean, I had an imaginary friend when I was little, but they never brought me back from the dead.
He means that with all due professional respect, of course.
How do you know this friend doesn't mean us any harm? Unless they have their own use for you. That's what's giving me the shakes.
We're headed to Fior Messi Verno to see if the Animancers know anything about the Dream Scourge, right? Maybe we'll learn something about your condition in the process.
Right. When it comes time to deal with Animancers, you two are on your own.
Just mind how close you get. Their experiments don't always go as planned.
They can stand around and have scholarly debates about souls all they want. Gives me a great opportunity to take a nap.
I haven't been back in a while, but Fior is, an interesting place. It was founded about 50 years ago by a disgraced Valian duke and a handful of animancers who'd soured on politics in the republics.
Town full of nobles, scholars, and leeches, all surviving off the work of the farmers who grow food for the whole island. Right. You know, present company excluded, and all that.
Don't take it personally. Marius only does this with people he likes.
I'd say something back at you, but I'm just not feeling it for some reason.
See what I mean? It turns out that academics are as ungovernable as the rest of us rabble.
They don't understand what they're messing with. They can't tame the wilds with machinery.
They've held it at bay until recently. Their ingenuity, or madness, or heresy, take your pick, has fed a lot of people in the Living Lands. But, rumor has it, some unnatural blight is destroying their crops. We'll find out soon enough. And while we're in Emerald Stair, there's something I've been putting off. An old friend from my time in Thirdborn had a cabin out in the woods. Tama. He passed a while ago, but he left something for me that I never got around to picking up. But since we'll be in Emerald Stair anyway... You won't regret it. Emerald Stair's lovely this time of year. Even the Delumgon bloom.
No matter what I tell you, you keep picking flowers from things that want to kill you.
Hey, they love me. You just gotta ask nicely. Compliment their foliage.
Right. Maybe buy them a drink before they choke you to death with vines. Imagine a flooded area, but instead of water, it's all plants that just seem to want you lost, starving, and dead. Step on the wrong thorn or eat the wrong leaf, and you'll find yourself paralyzed or exploding out of both ends.
He's just trying to scare you. But he's also right. You and I have quite the adventure ahead of us, Envoy.
I have, you know, things to do back in Paradise. It keeps me plenty busy.
Come to think of it, I haven't been to Emerald Stair in a while, and the Envoy's never been. Know any good guides we could hire?
None that could help the two of you. You need the best guide in the lands to keep you from getting yourselves killed. Now that you mention it, you're gonna need my help if you're traveling through the lands with this Nimdoot. I have 2 rules. No campfire songs and no hugs. That last one's non-negotiable.
I hear wiggle room on the singing.
If we're done being ridiculous, we should get some rest. We'll be in Emerald Stair tomorrow.
Good to have you with us, Marius.
Right. Go to bed before you violate the hugging rule.
Those dreams seem to be getting worse. How are you feeling? Not a whole lot, and I've been happy keeping it that way. Playing around with essence, poking at souls, trying to move them out of and into places they shouldn't be, it makes me queasy. Though, if we're going to understand the Dream Scourge and your godlike lineage, I suppose we'll have to get comfortable with it. Still, I'm happy to leave those pursuits to other people.
Exactly. Other people. People who are a safe distance away.
Hundreds of years ago, if I remember my history. I can see why your people outlawed it. I've just always felt more comfortable with things I can see and grasp for myself. Don't get me wrong, most Animancers are nice enough people. But even nice people get strange ideas from time to time. Nudge me if you hear anything in the woods.
Envoy? Right, changing the subject. Thanks for talking. What are you grinning about?
Huh?
Oh, would you be a dear and help with these spawnlings, please?
Looks like she could use our help. Let's give her a big pump.
Don't get too comfortable. More are on the way.
Yeah. Perk up.
You're too late.
Oh, fantastic. People. I was about to lose my wits.
A mind's question. The dust of the Akita in her hair. She knocks. We would answer.
You wouldn't happen to have a ladder on hand, would you? Don't take that tone with me, darling. There's a beautiful vase right in those ruins that I cannot reach. And as sharp as my wits are, they are a poor substitute for a ladder. But perhaps we don't need one. You're tall, striking, and well-toned.
If you keep encouraging her, she's going to climb you.
Watch out, Envoy. She seems to have a thing for you.
Careful, darling. I already have a lover. A good one. Skilled with his hands. He always carries a ladder. But, sadly, he's busy helping the Animancers in Fjord. And I need this vase now. Oh, absolutely not. Vidaro, the governor, is an uptight post-Nago. But if you want to know about the governor, fetch me that artifact. The vase sits atop that tower beside us, in the ruins there. And once you've got it, look me up. Yatsley, wizard extraordinaire, godless expert, and a Balrog in the bedroom.
You do meet the most interesting people.
I can get you 1,000 faces that don't require going into some ancient ruins, but no one listens to me.
Darling, you are aware I can see you digging through my things, aren't you? Please tell me you found the vase.
Everyone okay? Never seen Emerald stare like this. It's usually so nice.
Oh, more of this stuff. Has anyone figured out how to get rid of it?
On seek!
Nice shot!
I think I sprained my shoulder.
As if people weren't hungry enough.
Hand in hand, they toil, and the earth gives in return. The smile of the harvest.
I don't see what's the problem.
If you can't see it, I doubt I can explain
What do you mean that's all you've got? Last week you said there'd be great.
You know what I said.
Hey you! Go away! There's nothing he... Gods, what do I tell Sovia? What do I tell the children? It's not bad enough that their mother a little earlier and you'd have beaten the other bandits to my crops. But I guess that's on you, isn't it? I left the whole pile right here. Enough food, good food, safe food, to get us through the next few months. I went inside just for a moment. The bandits took everything. This was probably her last harvest. There's not a damn thing left to eat. What? No. We're fine. No smuggling, no dream scourge. What are you implying? Huh. Like sticking your nose in other people's business, do you? Ah, not you two. Gods. What do I have to lose? My wife, she's sick. Not a dream troll. Just sick. We've known for a while now. But treatment is expensive. There's not enough to go around. I thought if she could eat well for whatever time she had left, she'd be more comfortable. And now, it's gone. There. Are you happy? Ah, finally! Someone who cares about something other than themselves. When they ran away, I saw them following the river north. They're probably hiding up there, waiting to steal from someone else. You come back with my crops, and I'll give you whatever I can. You can't put a price on survival.
You showed up. Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giat is about to tear that poor man a new one. One of our animancers. She's bright as a spark, but a mite confrontational. She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancer's fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giatta's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. Not well, apparently. Giatta says it's infected the farms, and every day it gets harder to doubt her.
Just take a blessed day look outside. Doesn't take a genius to see this place is rolling downhill.
The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when Animancers fight.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Come to interfere in Steel-Garrote business again? Remedy is apology. Stay out of Steel-Garrote business and all will be forgiven. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of Animancy. While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel-Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace?
Oh, those poor souls. Please bring them peace, Saimiko. Becoming part of a blight is not a fate I would wish upon my worst enemy. And all godlike. I've heard whispers that one of your kind was here in the Living Lands. It is a pleasure to meet you. In case it wasn't clear, I'm the point of contact for anyone with bounties to turn in. So return to me if you have any to claim. Officially, I'm one of the many researchers here. My specialty is in the anatomy of the many species of Eora. If you must know, Vulpinet, these bounties are more pressing than my research. Someone had to be chosen to man the board. That person happened to be me. At least some of these bounties result in interesting specimens to study. Aura Taugori.
Genuine healing, Krista.
Oh, you startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead. I was calling on the spirits of the recently dead to follow the guidance of Bareth, god of death. I am asking the spirits to forgive us for our negligence and continue on their way without anger. The dead of Fjord expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry. That's exactly it. Well done. I have always observed it, and I brought it with me when I came to Fjord. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone. They bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
The ritual heals all. The spirits get one more taste of life, and the living get to offer one last gift to the dead. You must take these offerings of food and place them at 3 grave sites where the recently dead lay. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast. Loggers from the old days, they sacrificed themselves to make the land habitable and lost their lives to creatures of the untamed forest. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here. The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fjord, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds. I believe it will do exactly that. The spirits will find closure and rest, and the living can move on from this recent tragedy. Be careful, friends. The angry spirits lash out blindly. I cannot predict what awaits you at these graves.
Next time you want to tour graveyards, I'm staying at camp. We should help the living and let the dead rest.
I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady. Please, return when the rituals are complete.
Jata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no dream.
Come one, come on. My invention is guaranteed to enlarge your essence.
Careful, or we'll get thrown out of the pub.
Where are
I had one. Look out for her, Fidelio. How hard could that have been? Not everyone has the ranger captain breathing down their neck. I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate. My 2 youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here. 3 times this month. They're going to be the death of me. They're besotted. I can't get them to think about anything else. Belena and Adelaro were my most promising recruits. Now, all they do is sneak off to... I wouldn't have put it that way, but all right.
Well, there's worse places to make the 4-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and I... The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If you go that way, please, keep an eye out for them. I'm losing my mind in here.
Two young Nemdutin wandering out by a river. Consider them found.
Maybe we don't look too soon.
You
Give
ever
them a
think,
while. Know what I mean?
How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. We have Giata to thank for that.
As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust Animancy as his father did.
They do. And that's the kind of reckless behavior I'm trying to avoid.
Reckless is all we have time for. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Once again, bureaucracy stands in the way of getting things done.
I'm just trying to stop Giata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement. All of the above. I have a lot of forgetting to do. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giata.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giata Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giata is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Mesiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west, by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
By tradition, the governor's manor is open to the public.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Giatta is a spirited animancer, but she can be intolerable at times. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fior Mesiverno. Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him. He was loyal to my father, but never to me. And he knows how to rally others to his side.
He reminds me of a lieutenant I served under. Led us into a trap because he wouldn't admit his maps were wrong.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run.
Is this the governor's mother? Blessed a shame.
Ignacy. Where is Ignacy?
Did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him? So,
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giatta, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an Animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an Animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. We'll have fewer resources to work with, but anything's possible. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want, on my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. Straight to business then. I can respect that. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the Animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Glad to hear it. Your education should come in handy. Monto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
And I really loved him.
Founded machine. Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Ha! A novel idea, that. What I need is a stronger power source. Grimoires can hold intense power, but not for long. Besides, grimoires require a wizard to draw in essence. It's too dangerous at this scale. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Adragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
Ado, welcome.
I really don't think you can deny that everything wrong in Europe.
Seven in the past week. How am I supposed to live like this? Ah, Ado. You've caught me at an unfortunate time. You wouldn't happen to be an Animancer? Gods, it's about time somebody like you came along. If I have to chase down one more revenant, I'll lose my mind. I don't know. They just disappear. I wish they would at least come back. Soon I won't have any left. It's not like I enjoy imposing on you. But I'm afraid if I look for them, the rest will wander off. If Elia finds out, I'll never hear the end of it. I have to have some standards, even at a time like this. You know, maybe there is something. Maybe I know where they went. I've caught them trying to shamble off to the nearby lake before. Revenants aren't very bright. That can't be a coincidence. They must be attracted to something. It could even have power over them. It could be anything in a place like this. A relic? A grimoire? Luminous Adra? No, that wouldn't make sense. I was hoping you'd say that. Just follow the trail of revenants. Oh, and if you find something, I'd be grateful if you brought it here. I want to see whether it leads the surviving revenants back. The only way to find out is to experiment.
Those are no ordinary farmhands.
A godlike in Emerald's Den. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Try and use their names, if you don't mind. It builds their confidence. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
We can smell it, too.
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. What am I supposed to do? Just let them decompose? Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost-effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Thank you. It helps that he's already dead. Silvo is one of my revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put a poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be open. Just be gentle with him. He's a good boy.
So, we're killing a revenant then. She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets.
The great mystery is, are godlike blessed or cursed? The gods are silent on this question.
Neither. They just are. Anything else is speculation.
Ah, I hate speculation. Answers.
Did you hear that Giata was sick? Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
I suppose we owe her a favor. Or two.
Giata must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giata needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky. Forget what I think. Let's keep the focus on you. Tired of being remarkable? Interesting.
My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giata wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
There's no cure for the Dream Scourge, much in the way that there's no cure for an avalanche.
Giata will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Precisely. A godlike and a scholar, too. Incredible.
Indeed. Just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge.
Not that we'd ever be interested in such research, of course. How droll. An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable Animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh soccer, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?